Awesome. So we have Voit Thornton from Arizona. We're both in SubTo and Owners Club. And so, Voit, you were telling me a minute ago that you have some background in the mortgage world. So how would you say you got started though, like in all that?
Yeah, great question. So, absolutely correct. Mortgage, as a mortgage loan officer, I've been a mortgage loan officer with Wells Fargo as well as Rocket Mortgages previously, and had that traditional side of mortgage. So I know that traditional, just kind of straight line side of mortgage. The way I got into sub two, I was just like, and like I said, it's so I think it's so traditional that I knew there's other ways to do mortgages because a lot of times I'd speak with people, they didn't qualify either credit, income, or assets, and we had to deny them, and then follow up with them in 6 months or so, 3, 6, or 9 months. The good thing about what I saw was actually I was searching around the internet and I saw Pace pop up talking about an LLC, and he went super in depth about his LLC, how he's doing his businesses, and I was intrigued right then. So I dug a little bit deeper and then found out, a little bit more about seller financing and understanding the subject to. And I said, this makes a lot of sense. So right then and there, I just got into the program. I mean, after consuming that content that day, I jumped right in that process and got into the community right in February 20th, 2024 this year. So it's been phenomenal. Been learning tons, meeting a lot of people, and went down to Squad Up Summit and actually got into the Owners Club as well. So it's a group that we're all in, as you know, Dustin, and 400 people in it. We're just actually building our business out and working on what we call like our overarching theme or our Mount Everest. And my personal one is to help 50,000 underprivileged youth understand financial literacy and mainly credit card debt and consolidation loans by supplying like any type of coursework, Zooms, um, anything like that that's going to help them. Because I know the education systems, I wish I would have known when I was growing up, some type of those life skills at a younger age, just to understand like, hey, how does money work? And what can you do with it and grow? So educating the systems or a school system, even if it's going to be from the youth all the way up, to high school or even to college, I'm very open to that as well. But that's where I'm looking at too. And then also looking into things that I would be how I can help out with other people. Right now is where what we're doing right now. I mean, we have connections, and I'm sure you know as well when it comes down to what you've been doing, but connection with RV parks, with some of the team members, comping systems for any type of dispositions. We actually have the go high level, and just a willingness to JV on any deals as well. So we're always open to that with the community. And then things we're looking and what I would need is, buyers for single family homes and just connecting with wholesalers. So we're getting to that portion of that sector of our business to connect with a lot more wholesalers and just find more buyers for multifamily properties for assignment. So that's kind of like the future what I was looking at this
Oh,
point. So
so all right. So you said your Everest is helping 50,000 young adults, children be financially educated. Is that
yes,
accurate?
correct.
Cool. And then what would you, I guess two questions. Is there a timeline for that? And then what would you officially, how would you identify someone as officially like they check the box, they pass Voight's, the definition of that?
Check. That's a very, very great questions. I want to do this in the realm of anywhere from 6 to 8 years when it comes down to that process as well. And going through actually the school system itself. So starting off maybe somewhere here in Arizona, starting out with, speaking with, board members, faculty of what that looks like when it comes out to the life skills and going through like, a class, like a class, hey, this is how, credit works. This is how credit cards are this is what credit cards look like when it comes down to utilization. This is, breaking that down. So passing maybe like a course, how we do it in our like our safety courses, something that they could do like maybe like a YouTuber video and have some being self-taught as well and that side of things. And then maybe have some instructor just to make sure they're, testing out of something and give them, like you said, very similar like a badge or something that they have graduated from that, moving that on their process, maybe like a coursework of like 4 or 5 courses of that, and then graduating for that kind of level. of course, or a certificate. So that's what I'm looking at. And then going through that process where I could scale it out. I want to do some things that would be nice to present that, but just scaling that up through programs, maybe like a Coursera course, even like personal Zooms, things of that nature to a larger group as well.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Like a certificate of completion. Um, and then
Absolutely.
you said if people were to try to come collaborate with you and they could bring different resources, I think you mentioned buyers or wholesalers at one point, right?
Yes. So look into the wholesalers market. Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
and they would bring you, I'm trying to see how it connects with your Everest, but they would bring you, I guess, viable investment opportunities for your demographic, your clientele to potentially invest in. Is that where it connects?
Yeah, so the biggest thing with on that's probably more like the early stages of getting things kind of going with the wholesalers, just to kind of get that the more the quick money and the connections. With those buyers, it'll open up a lot more ability to speak with the buyers, speak with people that are able to
Mm,
maybe you know, getting the community, saying, hey, because there's always someone that's going to be connected with some type of schooling, families, anything of that nature. Just using that resource to say, hey, who do you know? Who can we help? This is what we're looking through an overarching theme. This is what we're trying to do as my overarching theme or Mount Everest to help others out. But just having that connection with those buyers, it'll actually lead onto some different avenues down the road as well. Never bad to connect, connect with people. And that's why I found out just everyone has a piece
yeah.
of the throughout that process too. So
Yeah, yeah, it makes sense. So here's kind of just like a random question.
sure.
Not random, but do you see yourself offering like for the people that graduate from your program essentially, do you see yourself having almost like a fund of some sort where they can invest with you? Like they learned all about investing and then it's like who else would be better to invest with than,
That's
the who they learn from?
brought that up. That was one thing that I did have written down as well of how to get into something, maybe even doing like I know starting up even like a fund to fund or something that
Yeah.
they know actually go into like how we've done with our sub two fund as well, where they can know, hey, this is something that's going to be a stable asset that they can look into and refer them to people that are actually reputable in the business, and then they're able to review that information as well. So if I'm not having a fund myself, having people around that are actually either sponsors or have a fund that we can collaborate together and go in on that way too. So bringing people in is that it would be a really big pillar, especially within that short period of time. I'm believing anywhere from that 6 to 8 years to do it that way too, because I know it's going to be a big team when it comes down to creating your fund itself. I know it's a lot of pillars to it. And you never know. It could be in 6 to 8 years, but I could be wrong. But that would be the things why I've written down is kind of collaborate on the fund to fund.
Yeah, yeah, same. The fun definitely piques my interest as well. And I
Mhm.
need to learn more about it. I don't know if it's you have to have separate fund of funds tied to the fund. Like if you have a fund of fund just for sub two, and then do you need another fund of fund if it's going with Grant Cardone, or can it just be one and then it pick and choose?
That's a great question too. Just from what I've been understanding on as well. Even if you're like partner with them on some way that you're partnering and you're helping capital raise or get them some people over there, driving them to their fund and helping out that ways. I'm sure there's always some ways to get distributions or JVs on that aspect of it. Probably I'd have to dig a little bit more deeper into it, but I loosely heard something like that too when it comes down to kind of partnering upon those different funds. And we have the group to do it too. That's the cool thing about it, or to find out a little bit more about everything too, because we have a lot of people that are into that, getting into it as well. So very interesting when it comes down to, because that's going to give you the scalability and just that even shows that credibility that you're building on something that bigger than that as well. So
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I need to research it more. I don't, do you know a good point of contact for a fund of funds? Or
you
is
know, absolutely great. It's so funny. I just got the email right now. Is Avishkar is really he's starting his fund. So he talked to and Pace got a hold of him. Theodore Head actually, which started the SubTo fund.
Yeah.
and Ryan Wagner. And I actually have their emails. I can get that information over to you. I have Ryan Wagner's email, but he was the one that started the SubTo Fund. So, and he's very responsive too. So
Yeah.
I
And
had
that's a
reached out
fund
to him.
of funds that they're doing of
That
Ishtar.
one, yeah, so that's the fund of funds, correct. So when
Right.
I invested into the SubTo fund as well,
Mhm.
and I think I mean it's awesome. It was just super transparent through the process, and they just when I emailed them, they hit back so quickly. So I would, I can definitely get you that information. But that'd be a really good source because to reach
Yeah.
out to. They're already doing it. They're already raising money. They know how to do it already. So
Yeah, it makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah, it definitely piques my interest to see it as, a gradual evolution. But let's see, other than phone number or QR code, is there any other way or resources you have out there, like maybe YouTube or anything that people can check out just to
yeah,
learn more about what you're up to?
absolutely. I appreciate that. So everything is at Voit Thornton, my name. That's Facebook, IG. I mean, I the TikTok and then YouTube as well. So I post on those regularly when it comes down to storytelling, behind the scenes, what we're doing, places that we went. Like I mentioned last time, we went to Wholesale Hotline. So that was the first time that all 4 members of Wholesale Hotline were in the
Yeah,
same area in the building. So it was a really good turnout,
yeah,
100 people. But yeah, everything that's on social media, I mean, feel free to DM me on any of those, and I get back with you. It comes directly to my phone. I answer back everything too. So, but yeah, I'm a big guy. I'm a big guy when it comes down to like voice noting, big time too. So it's like I'll shoot you a message, but then just to personalize, if I'm just meeting you, I'll voice note you or say something, or reach out. Even on LinkedIn as well. I mean, I see you heavy
yeah.
on this. I'm telling you, man. Like I had to hit you up. I had to show you some love, man. You're posting articles the way I love. I love to post articles. I post daily on them, scheduling
Oh,
them. It's
yeah.
perfect. It's you're getting to different buyers at that point. Different buyers with different looks or eyeballs on LinkedIn. Like a higher clientele. So I
The
see
whole
that a lot
different
too.
world, yeah.
It's so good, man. And then you get those visibility of those articles and pushing them out there. I've been doing the same thing, just make a nice little flyer like you've been doing. It's really good. So I see you
Yeah,
putting the work.
I'll look up you posted one today.
Yes. So I have the let me see if it's I think the one that went out yesterday, and then there's and let's take a look here. So there should be one coming out probably in about another about 3 p.m. on my end, next 2 hours.
Okay, awesome.
So